Oh boy, this video is going to split opinions, but today we are going to be talking about XRP price predictions, but not for the short term, not for the medium term, but for the long term. And when I say long term, we are talking long term. Guys, as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, and let's jump right down into it. So we are, of course, going to be talking about price predictions for XRP. All right? We're going to be talking about price predictions for XRP in 2045. It's quite a long-term picture here. Now, there's a lot of caveats to everything that I'm going to say in today's video, and it's very important that we take stock of each of them in order to truly understand the potential for XRP. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about 𝗕𝗄𝗪, this article right here, where he is predicting Bitcoin's price in 2045. There's actually a couple of different scenarios here, right? We have a bearish scenario, a median case scenario, and a bullish case scenario. So on the bearish side, by 2045, the next 21 years, we could see a $3 million Bitcoin. Well, believe me, that sounds phenomenal, right? We've seen Bitcoin down at a few $100s. We've seen Bitcoin at $20,000 all-time high, dropping down to $3,000, up to 65, 69,000, dropping back down to 15, up to 70,000 plus, right? We've seen some pretty phenomenal price predictions, and we've seen some phenomenal prices, both bearish and bullish, but a $3 million bearish price prediction for 2045 isn't a bad one by any stretch of the imagination. So we want to kind of take that into consideration here. The base case, which is like a medium case scenario, $13 million Bitcoin. So a $13 million Bitcoin. And then, of course, you have your bullish case scenario, which is just pure euphoric, $49 million BTC, okay, by 2045. So these are the numbers that are being bandied around. And I want to focus on the medium, right? We want to focus in on that $13 million BTC by 2045. And the reason I want to talk about that is I want to talk about that in relation to the other cryptocurrencies like XRP and how high they could potentially go should Bitcoin rally to 13 million. How high would XRP rally, right? And there's a lot of caveats with that. There's lots of things we have to consider. First of all, we need to consider what's going to survive the test of time. I think XRP has no issues in that category whatsoever. Okay, Bitcoin, it shouldn't have any problems within that time frame. Okay, but there are concerns over the proof of work mechanics and the profitability of mining operations. If Bitcoin doesn't perform well, then the miners make little to no profit, and therefore they run the business at a loss and potentially go bankrupt, and they're done, right? And therefore your transactions on chain become non-existent, and therefore Bitcoin becomes non-existent as it sits today. So it's important that we understand that there are some concerns in the longevity of Bitcoin, but considering the other elements, supply, demand, and everything that's going well for Bitcoin, we actually have a pretty good future mapped out. So although there are risks associated with proof of work mechanics like Bitcoin's POW, it's important that we understand that actually, although it's a risk, at the moment it's a very, very low risk. In the future, that may change. Those dynamics may change, but for now, it's not such a big issue. So with Bitcoin basically seeing mass adoption in the real world, with real world assets being tokenized on chain by 2045, yeah, I can see something like a $13 million Bitcoin. It becomes that new kind of digital gold kind of scenario. That term gets bandied around, thrown around a lot. Obviously, we have lots of very similar kind of terms thrown around when it comes to XRP and its use cases, and we'll talk about all of that in a moment as well. So for Bitcoin to reach $13 million, you can let me know in the comments below whether you think that is probable, a guarantee, or just absolute pure hopium. You can let me know what your thoughts are on that. But that is what 𝗕𝗄𝗪 is saying here, that by 2045, worst case, it's 3 million. Best case, it's 49 million, and somewhere in the middle, around 13 million, is the most likely, the most probable. It's the medium, right? So it's going to be an interesting one to see over the next 21 years where Bitcoin lands. But obviously, if Bitcoin moves like this and Bitcoin rallies up to $13 million, well, other cryptocurrencies in the space will also balloon up. Now, 21 years is a very long time. 21 years is going to see a lot of projects go. They're going to be a lot of projects that simply just disappear. Now, Bitcoin's probably not going to be one of them. Ethereum probably is not going to be one of the ones that disappears, nor is XRP. So these are three projects that I want to focus in on and say, okay, well, if Bitcoin reaches $13 million, how high does Ethereum go? And if Ethereum goes to this price, how high does XRP go? And now at the beginning of today's video, I said this is going to split opinions because it's going to split opinions, and it's going to be hard for some XRP enthusiasts to kind of get their head around because it's not what they've maybe been told by other influencers in the space. Because the numbers that are going to be driving out of this are, well, I'll show you, shall I? Let's go ahead and take a look, right? So here we have an Excel spreadsheet, Bitcoin reaching $13 million. Well, if Bitcoin reaches $13 million, the market cap of Bitcoin is $256 trillion based on the current circulating supply of 19.7 million BTC. Now, to put that into context, the current market cap is $1.1 trillion. That is a 232.7x in 21 years. Not bad, right? Obviously, you can argue maybe there's better ways to make money if you're just to invest in Bitcoin for the long term. But if you want to invest in something that actually has a proven track record of, growing in value over a significant period of time, well, Bitcoin seems to be standing up there along some of the other greats. So Bitcoin, a $256 trillion market cap. Now, at this point, it's worth noting that market cap absolutely means nothing. Okay, it is a theoretical notion of value. Okay, it's driven from price multiplied by supply, and it kind of is there to help us try to understand if it's valuable or not. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't show you liquidity. It doesn't show you the amount of money that's flowed into Bitcoin, and it doesn't show you any of that. It only shows you the theoretical value, not the actual value. The actual value of Bitcoin is ascertained by the people who are buying and trading and transacting and utilizing XRP. Okay, that's where the value lies. And that is where there's potentially this opportunity to see Bitcoin rallying up to $13 million, because it is the traders, it is the holders, it is the people participating in Bitcoin that are actually driving the value of it, not the market cap. It's important to note that the market cap is controlled and dictated by the price. It's not the other way around. When I say this, and I say this every single time, is because market cap is no barrier to price discovery. The only thing that matters when it comes to price is the supply and the demand. And of course, we can split the supply-demand elements away from the mining operations, the proof of work elements. You can almost say that Bitcoin has two sides of it, two sides of the coin, if you will. You have the supply demand, the trading, the price of BTC, and then you have confirming transactions on the other side of the equation. The trading of confirming of transactions and dealing with the proof of work and the mining operations is completely separate to the price action of BTC. That's not to say that it's completely detached, because the actual mining operations own BTC, and they are, of course, helping with the supply-demand elements to a degree. But we want to focus in on is there's a significant amount of retail investors, a significant number of wallets holding a significant amount of BTC, and that can control whether or not the price moves up or moves down. So $256 trillion market cap sounds pretty phenomenal, right? What would that do to Ethereum? Assuming that Ethereum balloons up and the ratio between Bitcoin and Ethereum stays the same as it is today, that's 26%, then we could see a pretty significant run for Ethereum, a $66.8 trillion market cap with a price of $555,000. So a pretty phenomenal number, right? We could see potentially here, Ethereum doing very, very well. Again, another 232.7x, assuming $13 million Bitcoin, $500,000 ETH. So, as you can kind of see, we're now going to be talking about XRP. XRP currently has a $34.6 billion market cap. Okay, it is significantly lower than that of Bitcoin and significantly lower than that of Ethereum. Now, there's lots of reasons behind this. We can argue, of course, that the SEC case against Ripple has hindered the price action of XRP for the last 4 years. And as such, that potential damage has basically led to a scenario where we haven't really seen XRP's true colors shine for years, right? So, and like I say, this is going to split opinions. What do we think the market cap would be based on the existing dynamics, right? So take that 34.6 divided by the 1.1 trillion, that percentage gap, that is what would apply to the 13 million. Okay, that's going to drive out a price. Now, that scenario, obviously, this is going to be, in my opinion, over a 21-year period, on the low end of things. Okay, I'm going to say I think it's on the low end of things, but it is a very nice and very juicy price prediction for the future nonetheless. Let's go ahead and throw this on. It's an $8 trillion market cap. Okay, and again, that's going to split opinion right now because obviously there's this idea that all the money in the world is going to flow through XRP. I'm not a believer in that. I don't think that's realistic in the slightest. Now, we know that there's a lot of money that potentially can flow through it, but it's very unlikely that all the money in the world is going to flow through it. A portion of it, sure, I can see. Tokenization is going to be a massive thing. And if the XRPL can do it, it's going to be great. So just bear in mind that this is based on the dynamics as it is today, which is obviously very different to where the potential is and where the potential lies. But we aren't talking about the potential. We're talking about where things are today and applying this idea of $13 million Bitcoin to today's scenario. Okay, so that would drive out an $8 trillion market cap for XRP. Some people in the comments will be saying that's just ludicrous. It's never going to happen. Other people will be like, it's far too low. You know, we're talking quadrillion dollars. The price of XRP based on the scenario would be $143.96. Some people, that sounds absolutely fantastic. $100 plus, fantastic. But this is a 21-year price prediction. This to me seems a little on the low side because we haven't really seen the proper kind of potential of XRP in the last 4 years. We've seen the SEC do nothing but hinder, stall, and prevent XRP and Ripple from actually succeeding. So with that well and dusted and out of the way, this price prediction might be on the lower side. We might actually see significantly higher. But this gives you a bit of an idea that if Bitcoin does everything that it's supposed to do and performs insanely well and reaches $13 million by 2045, Ethereum reaching $500,000, then XRP has the potential to reach $140 plus. Guys, you can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What is your long-term price prediction for 2045 for XRP? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you found it useful and informative, hell, even if it was entertaining, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. And if you haven't done so yet, check out my second channel where I discuss more on technical analysis over here.